Welcome back, folks. I think I've got a fairly interesting video for you today. So we're going to take a walk out to the shed, and I'm going to reveal my MGA twin cam barn find. So let's go for a walk. Now, I was already out here earlier and opened the doors for the first time this year. And there she is, hidden way at the back. I'm going to have to go in and I'll get my mower out of the way and uncover the twin cam. Okay, bring you guys in here and we'll have a look. There's close this thing up a little bit. Okay. There are some interesting stories surrounding this thing, but there it is. This is the 135th twin cam built. Okay, I'm just going to inject a few pictures here of how she looked when I first found her and brought her home. All right, she looks pretty rough. It has definitely had a rough and interesting life. But before I get into storytelling, let's have a look around, and I'll show you what it's all about. Obviously, the front end is pretty crumpled up. It's well, it is what it is. The front bumper is missing, and the bumper brackets appear to be gone from it. Rust-wise, the lower fender and the sill are probably not as bad as Dolly, but it certainly has had a rougher life. Even the back corner there. One of the identifying features are these Dunlop wheels. They've got the spin-offs, and some of the later Mark IIs also had those, but this one, the serial number identifies it as a twin cam. Inside, you know what? I'll grab a light, see if it'll help. Yeah, might help a little bit. You can see that the frame is in rough shape, but I don't know that it's all that much worse. It's certainly no worse than my other parts car out there. And the transmission tunnel, that's a little bit worse than on Dolly. That front cross member there, it's in pretty rough shape, and unfortunately that's where the body number would have been, so I haven't been able to uncover that. But I mean, there it is. Now the trunk, well, looks like hard to see. It looks like somebody added a battery box in the trunk. That was not there originally. I think this trunk lid comes off, so just give me a second here. Okay, there we are. Yeah, so great big hole over there. And it pretty much looks like Swiss cheese everywhere else. That's the gas, the top of the gas tank. You can actually see right there. So there's not too much left of the trunk floor. The sides look to be okay. Yeah, it's just the floor itself. And that's basically why I got that parts car, because the floor in the parts car, the trunk floor in the parts car, is almost perfect. So that's it. The front end, or the back end, definitely looks better than the front end, with the exception of that boot floor. Now I'll lift the hood, and unfortunately, what you're seeing is not a twin cam engine. At some point it got changed for a 1500. You can see it does have the original heater, and on the twin cam engine, the carbs would have been on the opposite side, so they had to switch the heater. The radiator is also not original. It had to be changed for to accommodate the 1500 engine. But anyway, that engine looks somewhat complete. And I haven't even tried to turn it over to see if that 1500 engine will turn. I'm sorry, it's a little bit hard to hold the light and hold the camera and talk at the same time. Anyway, story time. Now you can perhaps see that VIN number, but it's YD3635. And the strange part is, right after the 3, there's a 9 stamped in there, which is not original. It's too high, it's the wrong script. So there has been some funny business in the past. So that's kind of interesting. I'll just set this up back here. Okay, so YD3635 would have been built in 1958. In 1958, there were a total of 493 twin cam roadsters built. That was the first year of their production. Of that, 256 were built in left-hand drive for the North American market. So that's for all of North America. So this is one of 256, and being the 135th MGA ever built. So that's kind of important when I get into my stories. Also from the VIN number, we determined that the original color was Old English white, and it came with a red interior, and One of the stories that I was told by the fellow that I bought it from was that the car had originally come with a hardtop, a removable hardtop, and the car went off the road and ended up in the South Saskatchewan River, and the hardtop was never recovered. That may have something to do with why that extra digit is on the VIN plate, because if at that time the car was considered a write-off and somebody wanted to put it back on the road, they may have added the digit and registered it under a different serial number. That may not be the case, but that's one possibility. Shortly after I acquired the car, and I acquired it at the same time I acquired Dolly, and this one actually came as the parts car to go along with Dolly, which was in a little bit better shape. There was no mention of it being a twin cam. I didn't even know what a twin cam, MGA twin cam was at that time. I went out to look at two MGAs, and I think he wanted $1,500 each. And I told him, well, I'd give him $1,500 for Dolly, but I wasn't going to buy it unless he'd throw in the parts car. I think in the end we settled on $1,700 and for both. And it wasn't until after I got home and I started looking into things and looking at the serial number. And when I was reading up, I saw, well, any of the serial numbers that start with a Y would be a twin cam. And this one started with a Y. So that's when I started doing a bit of digging and learning about MGA twin cams and the story behind them. And the reason that there were so few produced is that the engine got a very bad reputation for failing and putting holes in pistons. And the factory never did sort out what was causing the problem. Since then, people have determined that the problem was the carburetors. The engine would hit a certain frequency. Some of them had a bit of a vibration, and would hit a certain resonance frequency that would cause the carburetors to lean out. So at about 3,000, 3,500 or cruising speed, the carburetors on some of them would lean out, cause detonation, and put holes through the pistons. And it got such a bad reputation, and they had to replace so many engines, that MGA discontinued the twin cam in 1960. In fact, in 1960, there were only 39 produced in total. 5 came to North America. But anyway, this one would be in 1958. So at some point, that twin cam engine got replaced by a 1500. It may have happened, it may have gone back to the dealer and been done at the dealership. That I really don't know. It also could have been done by one of the owners a little later on. That I would like to find out. Anyway, on with the storytelling. A friend from the British Car Club down in Regina was over at my place in White City at the time, checking out my work on the Austin Mini that I was restoring. And we got looking over my MGAs. And when I told him that this one had been a twin cam, he said, oh, my father-in-law bought a twin cam, brand new, up in Saskatoon. And we got talking some more, and it turns out that his father-in-law's twin cam was Old English white with a red interior and had originally come with a removable hardtop. Well, with only 256 coming into all of North America, the chances of this not being that same car is very, very slim. So we think it's the same car. He doesn't have any record of VIN numbers or anything like that to really track it down. But if you recall, this one had gone into the river and the hardtop had been lost. So the original owner, provided this is the same car, bought it brand new. He'd actually had it shipped out from a dealer in Ontario to the dealer in Saskatoon, and he took delivery of it in Saskatoon, and I have a photograph of that car being driven off the lot in Saskatoon in 58 or 59. See, this was manufactured in 58. It could have been originally registered as a 59, depending on how long it took for everything to get from Britain over to Ontario and shipped out to Saskatoon and so on. So I don't know for certain if it was registered as a 58 or a 59. But anyway, he told me that the father-in-law had owned it only for about a year. And then he sold it. And the person he sold it to, he told me the area that it went to. He didn't know specifically where. And the fellow that I bought this from told me where he got it from, or again, an area, because he hadn't actually been to the fellow's house. He had, I don't know the rest of the story, but same area. So what are the chances that if I go up to that area with pictures of the car then and now, and picture, like a good quality picture of what it looked like, what are the chances that that original engine is sitting out in a machine shed or under a bench, or if not the whole engine, even just some of the components, because the carbs were different. I don't have the carbs off of it, and the radiator and a lot of the parts that would have come off of it. So that's part of this big adventure that I'm planning. I'm going to put the old classic Mini on a trailer and put it behind my motorhome, and I'm going to go down to that region, and I'm going to go to some of the small towns in the area where I think it came from, and I'm going to go for morning coffee and talk to all the old timers. And well, I have to be at least as old as myself, and see if anybody remembers the car, and if I can find out any more about its history. The chances of finding the original engine, probably have a better chance of winning the lottery. But I got to try. I got to go and at least try and connect the dots and find out more about the car's history. So what am I going to do with this thing? I don't know. I definitely don't have the kind of money it would take to restore this properly, to put it back on the road as an MGA twin cam. That is out of the realm of possibility. However, if I did happen to find the original engine and it didn't cost me an arm and a leg to get my hands on it, that's a different story. Then then that kind of becomes a possibility. It would still be a huge, huge endeavor, far more expensive and far more time consuming than the one that I'm working on, which is why I went ahead and started restoring Dolly, my 59 roadster. But I don't think I could do this justice. And to sell it the way it is as a project, I wouldn't likely get very much money for it. I'd probably get more money selling it off as parts. But I don't know that I have the heart to do that. I would love to see this thing resurrected. So, I mean, I would love to know what you guys think. Am I nuts going on this excursion? I plan on bringing you all along and kind of documenting it, although I can't see myself going into the morning coffee shop and shoving a camera in people's faces and asking them questions. But as much as possible, I think I'll bring you along for the ride, and it might be fun, or it might be a big nothing. But anyway, stay tuned. I don't know if there's much more to say about this. I mean, while we're out here, this is my parts storage, and if I just kind of scan around a little bit, you'll see a lot of MGA parts, both from the parts car and just some extra stuff that came along with the two. He had extra fenders and stuff, and that's what's really disappointing, is these fenders that were in pretty decent shape, they hacked off with a torch. The part that always rusts away is missing. But anyway, it probably wouldn't be too hard to just tack on a lip and fix that. But yeah, they got a little torch happy with this stuff. But anyway, so yeah, lots of extra parts. Somebody's idea of an ice racing tire for a Mini. But anyway, the majority is MGA bits. So we'll wrap this up here, and please like and subscribe, and hit the bell, hit the notifications, so they'll give you a notification when a new video comes out. And yeah, don't miss my Wayne's Big Adventure while I go looking for history on this twin cam. Anyway, we'll see you on the next one.